Hi everyone, I am David Azancot, the 4D for iOS product owner, and I'm here to talk a little bit more about 4D for iOS. 4D for iOS will allow you to extend easily your existing desktop application to mobile, build native iOS apps directly from 4D, and take advantage of the latest iOS operating system features. Test, visualize, and play with your application using the iPhone simulator. Build great apps that are fully publishable either internally within your company or on the App Store. And finally, consult and modify data on the go. Let's go through the creation process to have a little overview of the different steps. So, to build your app, you will need to define general information about your app structure, the data you want to embed into your app, action forms to execute action from your app, icons, labels, and formatters for your fields, your iOS views, of course, and finally, test your app using the simulator. So now we are going to build the insurance app that you saw during the keynote. Let's begin opening my mobile project. So here, as you can see, in the Open menu, you have a new mobile projects option that is available here. And you have the same one, of course, when you want to create a mobile project. So I'm going to open my existing mobile project. And the first screen that you get when you open a mobile project is this nice welcome screen that describes all the steps that I talked just before. So let's begin with the general section. Here you can define general information about your app, such as your app name, your company name, and of course the icon of your app. If I drop an icon in this icon field, every necessary declination of the app is then created. As you can see here, I have all my iPhone and iPad icons that are generated automatically that will be used, for example, to display an icon on your device or to display notifications. So every declination is here generated. A great thing is that the dominant color of your logo is used to brand your application and customize it with your own color. So here we can see that the green color in my logo is displayed in my application, as you can see, on every screen. So this is a great way to brand easily your application. So now let's have a look at the structure section. This is where you define a subset of your physical structure. In other words, this section allows you to publish all the fields you want to add into your app, including related fields. So here, the fields with the icon that you know already, and those two icons are quite new because they represent relation. Here, a many-to-one relation with the fields that are linked, and here a one-to-many relation. So now let's publish those fields that we need to display in our insurance app. So as soon as your structure is defined, you'll be ready to check out the data section. So here you can define filter for your data using filter queries. For example, in this app, we want to display here. We want to display only relevant clients depending on the person that is logging in. So to do so, let's enter the following line: sale.email equal email, and let's validate that. And let's see on the structure. So sale here is the relation name that we can see here. Email here is the field value we want to base our query on. And email is the address we are going to get from the login form that we have here. I'm going to log out. Here I can enter my email, 40.com. I'm going to log in. And the data is well filtered here. So to make this filter work, you have to create or edit the on-mobile app authentication database method to get the user info. So for those who may not know it already, the on-mobile app authentication database method is in charge of managing mobile app authentication to 40 server. It is automatically called by 40 when a user agent sends a login request to 40 server. So let's see how it looks. So this is where we get the email that the person entered into the login form. Now, action section. So this is where you create all your actions. This means that you are now able to build action forms and execute 40 code from your iOS app by defining action directly from this section. So we'll talk about this in more detail during the advanced session, and I'm sure you will be all there to see that in the advanced video. So now let's select formatters in the labels and icons section here. This section allows you to define several fields, tables, as well as relations properties like labels, icons, and formatters. So here, for example, you can define short and long labels that will be used depending on the available space in the application. So that really depends on the template you choose, if there is enough space to display the long label. Here you have an extensive range of icons that is available, but it's available on the project editor, but of course you can add your own icons. As you can see here, several formatters are already available in the project editor, but for this example, I have previously included custom formatters to convert, for example, here for my customer table, I have a status field, and I'm gonna select my Boolean formatter that will allow me to display in my application, instead of true or false, I will have the status of my client in done or to do here for a client I haven't visited yet. So it's a great way to format your data easily into your application. And I also include a feature, thanks to those formatters, that will allow to open the native Apple Map application when you click on the address field. So I'm gonna select it here, and let's see in my app what happens when I click in this address label. I have options to interact with my map. For example, I can get my way directly from my 44 iOS app using the Apple native map application. And we have we can have great interactions with labels. For example, with URL, you can directly open the Safari application clicking on the label that includes those kind of formatters. You can open the mail app, you can dial automatically a phone number, selecting the phone formatter, so you can do great things using those formatters. So as you can see here, a relation tab is available at the bottom to customize the button that will be automatically created when you integrate a one-to-many relation into your app, these kind of buttons. So let's focus on these points for a few minutes. Just like the tables and fields, here you can define the short and long label as well as the value you want to show in the navigation bar here of this child view. Using the percentage character, it will help me to reference a field value. Here, for example, I want the name that is the value, the value here of my customer. So it will take the name value and this allows me to make the customer name appear at the top of the child view as a reminder of the record I am looking at. So let's move to the main menu section now. This section will allow you to define visible items on the tab bar of your application. So the tab bar is the menu that you have at the bottom of your app. For this application, we'll only display a customer tab because we have relations. So basically, when you create a project, we have all the tables that are published, but we only want to have our customers here. So you can delete that, delete the item we don't want to see. So let's move to the form section, and this is my favorite part of the creation process. This is very easy to use. You simply have to drag and drop the fields in list and detail forms to build your views. For example, I'm gonna put my client name here, my client address here. I want my customer house picture here. To get my address on the map, I put the address here. And I want to base my research on my searches on my customer name. But I also want to base my researches on my customer address. So as you can see, you can add very easily some multi-criteria search and have several criteria as the name and my customer address here. So this is a nice way to to search on multi-criteria and to add this feature into your app. So in case you decide to change your template, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna take this one. The fields you used are kept and put into the appropriate places. This is very, very nice and very convenient if you have to change your template and to try several templates. For this demo, I have created custom lists and detail forms to improve the look of my insurance app. And most of those custom templates are already available in the documentation, and we'll see at the advanced station that the 18R3 has a lot of cool things for templates. So let's go now to the publishing section. This section allows to define your production URL and to indicate in the project editor if you want to integrate a login form into your app. When everything is finished, you go to this Build tab and you can now build your app clicking on this Build and Run button. So let's go through, let's use our app to see if it's working well. So I enter 40.com. So first, you can log in the application. Based on the email that was entered in the login field, data will be automatically filtered. So this means that I can see only the clients, the customers that have been assigned to me. The map formatter is working well. I can open the map app clicking on my label here, on my address label. On my client detail form, I have my Boolean formatter that is well replaced by to do or done depending on the status. My relation button here is created as well and allows to see my client incidents. And let's add a picture to make sure that our actions are working well. I'm gonna put title, breakout session 1, the date of today, and I'm gonna select a picture here. So let's see what I've got here. Okay, some flowers. It's great. Done. And my record here, my action is working well because my record is added. Thanks to my custom template, I can zoom into my images, and at the end, I can ask my client to have a signature directly on this custom template. So I can sign with my finger, and it's synchronized with my database, and it's added to my record. So now your app is ready to be published. When your app has been built at least once, you can reopen your application with Xcode So as you can see here, all your structure and tables are available in the generated project. And you can improve it by adding your own code. Even if I recommend building a custom template upstream, including changes. So let's go back to our presentation. Let's quit Xcode first and go back to our presentation. When your application is ready, you can choose to deploy it within your company. So the first thing you have to do to deploy your app is create an Apple developer account that will allow you to deploy it within your company. Then you will have to upload your build app into your server. One great way to make it available to your employees is generated a QR code that your employees will be able to scan to install the application. Then, when your QR code is available and is ready, you can distribute it to your employees that will scan it to install the application. And finally, your employees will have to trust the developer from the iPhone settings to install the application. So the process is very easy to follow. So basically with 44 iOS, you will be able to build iOS native apps directly from 4D. Test your app using the simulator. Consult your data offline thanks to the offline mode. Create, edit and delete record from your iPhone using the action forms. Use related fields as any other field in the creation process when you define your structure. Embed and filter content in your app with the restricted queries. Incrementally synchronize your data with pull to refresh. Deal with your sessions. Include login forms to authenticate. Execute 40 code from your generated iOS app thanks to actions. Include your own formatters and integrate them to all your projects. Create and include your own custom templates. Produce a native Swift project and go even further by using Xcode. So, all the 44 iOS documentation is available scanning this QR code, and you can scan it to go directly to the documentation. I hope that you enjoyed this presentation and this great product that is 44 iOS. Thank you for your attention.